What is going on, guys? I am back with a new episode of the AI series, and today we're gonna create a script that will gonna define the path of our of our AI on which it will gonna walk on. So it is gonna be pretty easy, but I'm gonna introduce you to the concept, or the logic how we're gonna do it. Okay, so look at it over here. Look this object as the parent object, alright, and in this object I'm gonna attach my script. Okay, now this object will gonna have a lot of child object which will gonna define our path points. Okay, so this is a child object, this is a child object, and so on. Okay, and now how are we gonna define it? So here comes a new thing. You probably heard of it. It's called array. Actually, you should have heard of it because I have used it a lot of times in the car controller series. So yeah, and oh, screw this. Let's say I guess this will show array. Okay, so now this is not the array that I have used earlier. This is kind of different. Okay, so this array, you can say it can be resized in real time while the object while the script is being executed. Now the array that we defined was defined by these two blocks. Let me show you these two square braces, right? Let me increase the size. These two square braces. Okay, now the array that I'm going to use is going to have its own data type called array, and also while defining the new class of it, we're going to use array and these parentheses and a semicolon, and also we're going to use a keyword new to relocate it. Okay, so let me show you how it looks like. This is gonna be the syntax. Alright, okay, so what we're gonna do in this script is, while the objects are added in this array, we're gonna cast array from each object. Let's say these are the objects. Okay, let's say these are the objects. Alright, these are the path points in which you want your car to be go over. Alright, so this is the path, this is the line that we're gonna create in editor, and this line will only gonna be showing off in editor, and yeah, so this will gonna show off in editor, and it will gonna help us to edit the path real quick. Alright, so yeah, so that's all it is, and let me jump right onto the scripting, and let me show you how to do that inside of Unity. Okay, so let me close it. Okay, here we are inside of Unity, and I'm showing you off this model. This is the model that I have created a long time ago, but I'm really proud of it. So this model will be available very soon, so keep your eye on my Facebook page, because whenever it will be available, you will be notified on my Facebook page. So yeah, and this uses the same exact script that we have created for, in our car controller series. So let me show you how it looks like. You can see using the same script, and it works really well. You can see the old script. Okay, now for the AI testing, I'm just gonna create a new scene. Now this is the old project, the car controller series. This is the old project. Alright, so I'm just gonna create the AI series inside of this project. So if you don't have this project, then be sure to check out my car controller tutorials, or in the last episode I have introduced a free car controller kit. You can download that also, so the link will be in the description if you want to check it out. And yeah, so first thing first, you need to create a new scene. So click on File, Save Scene As. Now I don't want to delete any of the stuff that I've created over here, so I'm just gonna save scene as the new one. I'm gonna go for AI testing. AI testing. And the scene has been created. Now I can delete this object. I don't really want my car right now. And I'm gonna disable this car camera script because I don't really want it right now. And let's just go ahead and create a new script. Go to the scripts folder, create a new folder. Let's name it AI scripts. Okay, and in this AI scripts folder, create a new script. Let's say JavaScript, and name it path script. Cool. And now just open it inside of MonoDevelop. Okay, I guess this is the script. Okay, so if you look at it, you have at the top you have Pragma strict. Now remove this because we don't really need it right now, because I'm gonna do some of the coding that the Pragma strict won't allow me to do, and it's gonna give me a lot of errors that I don't really want. And if you remove the Pragma strict, it will not gonna affect anything in your game, so just remove it for now. And remove all the code that is here. Okay, and let's say from the new line, create a new variable. Let's say path. Okay, and this is gonna be an type array. Okay, now this array can be dynamically relocated. I'm sorry, it cannot be relocated. It can be resized. Okay, and I'm just gonna create another variable, and I'm gonna name it as ray color. Ray color. Alright, and I'm gonna name it I'm gonna give it a type of color, and I'm gonna name it color dot white. If that will gonna work. I don't know if this will gonna work or not. And also I'm gonna create a new function. I'm gonna introduce you to a new function which is called function on draw gizmos. So I guess you probably have heard of it. If not, let me tell you what it does. OnDrawGizmos is a function that is called inside of the editor. Even though if you're not playing the game, it will be called. Okay, so it is really useful, and also it has one more function related to this function. It's called OnDrawGizmos selected, and I will tell you what that does in a minute. So let's just check if we are getting any error or not. So I guess we are cool. Let's say create a new empty game object. Alright, and let's name it as path, and we're gonna attach this script to this game object. Whether you drag it over here or here doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is ray color. It says white because I like this color right now, at least. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get all the objects that are gonna be child of this object. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a duplicate of this object, and I'm gonna name it as path underscore obj, which stand for, I don't know, it just means that it is a child object. I'm gonna drag it inside of the path, and there you go. There we have a child object. Now I'm gonna duplicate this. Okay, now path objects has two child object, but you can't really see because you know these two objects are there, but you can't really see in the word space, but we wanted to see it. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all the objects which are inside of this parent game object. So how we're gonna do it is we're gonna go over here, variable, and we're gonna go over here and go path underscore objects, objs, or doesn't really matter, and we're gonna create it as an array so that we can set it equals to the path, and that would be really easy. I'm gonna go transform dot get components in children, I guess I'm right, or I don't know if this spelling is right. Get components in children. Is it right now? Yeah, it is right. Okay, so now I want type to be transform. So of type transform, and yeah, I guess that is it. So what this code means is get all the objects which are child object of this path game object. Okay, now it will gonna get all the objects which are the child object of this path object, of this transform, okay, which is actually the path object. You know what I mean, right? And get components in children of type transform. What this mean is this means that get all the children and take each of them as a transform and then add it to the array which is path objects. Okay, so now what we wanted to do is we wanted to set this path to you know, a new class, a new array class. So we're gonna go for path, and we're gonna go for array, new, you know, path is equals to new array. Like I told you earlier, it's exactly the same, new array. Okay, so this is the syntax of relocating a new array class. Okay, so this will gonna remove all the elements that were added before on this path object. So that's why I'm doing this, because I don't really want old objects to be interfering with the new objects that I'm going to add. Alright, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna use a for loop to get all these objects. Okay, so we're gonna go for, and we're gonna go for a variable path underscore obj. Now this is object, and this is objects. Keep this in mind. Okay, and we're gonna take it as transform. Now this is not an array, and this is not a normal for loop. It is a bit different. Okay, so we're gonna go variable path, and it is an of type transform, and I'm gonna use a new operator called in, not int, in, and then we're gonna go for path underscore objects. Okay, so what this mean? Now this is a bit more complicated. Now what this mean is create a new variable path object, and which is gonna be an of type transform, and take each object which is in the path objects array, which is this array, all the child objects. All right, and take each one of them as a transform, and yeah, so go for each one of them, and now if I assign any value to this path object, it will gonna be applied on each element of this object. All right, so pretty easy to understand. And let's see what we can do now. Let's say we're gonna add some you know, we're gonna you know, let me just type in the code and you'll get it. Okay, path, and we're gonna go for path dot length, and let's say path underscore object. Okay, so what this means? This means that path, which is this array, and get its last element of the array, and add this path object to that array. So this is a really nice way of assigning this thing. Now I can do what I have should done is I have uses the path and just set it equals to path objects, but I haven't done that. I have used this for loop. It's because I wanted to use a condition called if. Now this condition is really important. Okay, so keep your eye on it. So path underscore object is not equals to the transform. Okay, so what this means is path underscore object is not equals to its own transform. Means this script is attached to a game object, and it should not, and the path object, which is each element of this object, should not be equal, this array should not be equal to its own transform. If it is equal, then do not add that element to array, because it will also gonna take in this array, it will gonna take its parent as an element, and that will gonna give us some problems in the future. So that's why I didn't add that. Okay, so path so this is done, and I know you guys have been complaining about the format of the code, so I'm just gonna add some space over here. just raise over here. So now it's cool, right? Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so now you know, I have forgot one thing. I have to set the color of the gizmo. So I'm just gonna go for gizmos dot color is equals to ray color. Cool. Now let's just move on to our next line of code, which let me think how I'm gonna do it. Okay, so let's just create a for loop. Okay, and we're gonna create a new variable I. We're gonna set it to, you know, I'm just gonna set it to an integer so the code will be fast, and set it to 0. Then I'm gonna set it to I should be smaller than, I should be smaller than path dot length, length, and also I plus plus, which we're gonna increment I at every loop. Okay, so it's cool. Now let's say we're gonna create a new variable. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. And we're gonna create a new variable, and this variable is gonna be a position variable. Okay, so position of type vector3 and vector3, oh sorry, 3. Okay, and set it equals to path I dot we're gonna take it as transform. So I'm just gonna position it, and let's say add a new condition, and this condition is gonna be pretty easy. Okay, so it is really easy to understand. So I'm just gonna go for I is greater than 0. If I is greater than 0, then put it right here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for variable previous, which is gonna get the location of the previous object, the previous element of this object. So I'm just gonna copy this code, and I'm gonna add it right here. I'm gonna go for I minus 1, which we're gonna get the previous element of this array. Okay, now we have the position, which is object position, and the last position. Last position is the object behind that behind the first object. All right, so you know what it means. Just look at the code. All right, I'm kind of sick right now, so I might not be able to explain it really good. And now let's say draw a line. Okay, so in Unity we have a function called gizmos dot draw line, and we need to give two vectors now, vector3 and the other object is also as vector3. So we're gonna give as a previous and a position. Now previous is also a vector3, position is also a vector3. Both are the position of the empty objects. So yeah. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and check it out, and I hope that this will gonna work. Okay, so let's see. Minimize that. Let's see if we are getting any error. No, we are not. Okay, so why the line is not forming? There's something wrong. Gizmos. I guess everything is right. Why is not drawing it? Let's see. Alpha value. It's alright. Okay, this is slightly. Oh yeah. Let me see. Should not be 3D. Okay. Now we can pull this object off it. Now you have to make sure one more thing, that the alpha value, which is also known as the transparency value, should also, well, you know, this is a transparency value. You can make this line transparent or anything you want. Okay, so now I'm just gonna create another object, and you can see that it is really easy to form a line. Now I like to do one more thing in this, and that is to create you know, let me show you. Just draw wired sphere. Okay, and let's see, center as a vector3 and radius as float. Okay, so center as gonna be position, and vector3 or sorry, float as a radius. So I'm just gonna go for 0.3. That'd be cool. Let's see. Cool, right? Now we know where the objects actually are, so it's kind of really cool. And this will gonna help us to tell our car what the path actually is, and this will gonna also tell us how this will gonna help us to form a path in any sort of scene. Okay, so let's say I'm just gonna create a path real quick. I'm just gonna delete all the elements, and this is gonna be like this, gonna be like this, gonna be like this, gonna be like this, and that is it. Okay, so this is the path that you can use. Also, what we're gonna do is I was going to show you a new function, another function which is a friend of this function, which is called onDrawGizmos selected. Okay, so what this means, onDrawGizmos selected, means that it will only gonna draw this object when this object it will gonna only draw the gizmos of this object when this object is selected in the editor window. Okay, so you can understand, you can see when it is selected it will gonna show, otherwise it will not. So I don't really like to use the selected. I just want to use onDrawGizmos, and I hope sure that you like this tutorial, and if you do, please make sure to click on thumbs up right below this video, and I'll see you guys later. Till then, goodbye. And also and yeah, I guess I've covered everything I have to, and yeah, if you have any questions, anything, you can go to my Facebook page and post it right there, and I will or somebody else will help you to put you in the right direction. And yeah, so I guess that's it. And I'm just formatting the code because you guys are saying that I'm a terrible formatter of the code, so I'm just gonna format. I don't know, I don't really do formatting that much because I don't really like to waste time on it, but I guess you can see the formatting, worst formatting ever. Okay, so I'll catch you in my next episode. In the next episode, I'm gonna show you how to tell your car or your AI vehicle what the path actually is, and how to follow that path by adding torque on the wheel collider. So I'll catch you in my next episode. Till then, goodbye, and yeah, I'll catch you in my next episode. Bye.